So I am making my stew in the background, which is another video, but I'm doing it in the same day because one of my children does not eat stew. So I'm going to make some stuffed mushrooms and whatever else they want to eat. So I'm going to show you how to do a stuffed mushroom. Very simple. It's great for an appetizer. If you have to bring it someplace, it's wonderful to make. You can do it the night before and just throw it in the oven the next morning. And it's really simple. A couple of ingredients right in the oven and you're done. So why don't you come in, I'll show you the ingredients that you need and we'll get started. All right, guys, so I'm going to show you the ingredients of what you need. And now you can use any kind of mushroom you want. These I just happened to pick up at the store today. I wasn't even planning to make mushrooms or do a video, but they had the regular white mushrooms, okay? And what I did was I cleaned them and I pulled the stems out. Now do not get rid of these stems. What you want to do is you want to cut the very end of your stem off, keep the white meaty part of your stems, just a few of them, and you're going to cut them into little tiny pieces, okay? And you're going to use that for part of your filling. So these are the stems of the cleaned mushrooms. Make sure they're dry so they don't get soggy, all right? You can use portobellos if you wanted to make like a big mushroom and put like crab meat and, you know, really make it like a nice big meal in a portobello mushroom. They're delicious. Butter mushrooms, any of those are really good. All right, but I'm just using a few of the white regular mushrooms. Okay, so now what I have here is I have about 2 cups of seasoned Italian breadcrumbs, or Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, however I said that. And so you're gonna put that in a bowl, okay? You gotta have some good cheese. Always have very good cheese. This is my locatelli. You can use Parmigiano Reggiano or the locatelli, whatever you like, but always get good grated cheese. None of that stuff in that green can, you know what I mean? And I have the stems from the mushrooms. I have some fresh parsley, and of course I have fresh garlic, okay? And for this, I'm gonna use my olive oil. All right, now, what you wanna do is you wanna add in your olive oil to your breadcrumbs. I can't tell you how much. It really depends on how much breadcrumbs you have, depending on how many mushrooms you have. You know, you're gonna have to add a little more as you go, all right? What you wanna do is get this to be like, kind of, I hate the word moist, but we want it moist. And then that's when you're gonna add the rest of your ingredients. Okay, but look, see, you add a little at a time because, you know, you don't want to over wet it. This definitely needs more. Okay, you're going to keep doing that until you get it to the right consistency that you want. All right, now what I'm going to do to this, all right, this looks like it's pretty good. Maybe a tiny drop more. Can't hurt, right? All right, you want it nice and, you don't want it to be crunchy. You want it to be nice and, you know. All right, so to this, let's add in your garlic. I like a lot of garlic. You don't have to add this much garlic, and if you don't like garlic, you can omit it altogether. But you shouldn't. You should throw it in there. Okay, you got your stems from your mushrooms. Always get them in. You got your little bit of fresh parsley. Okay, now again, you could just do this at the end, but I like the way it tastes and looks in there. Now again, the big thing is your cheese. You're gonna put about, I'd say a good 1/4 cup into this. And you're gonna mix it all together nice. Okay, now again, it should be able to be a consistency that you can pack it in. So I am gonna add a little more oil. Like I said, see guys, it looks like I'm adding a lot, but this doesn't really come out too quick. And that's it. Now, you have to make sure. Now, what I did also, just before I even go next, but you have to preheat your oven to 350, which I already did. And I'm using a disposable pan because I don't want to wash anything else tonight. You can use a glass pan or whatever you want, but I'm using disposable just so it's easy. I washed my pan. Again, you're going to put a little oil at the bottom of the pan. Just get it in there so that stuff doesn't burn or stick at the bottom, and you want that to cook at the bottom. Now, let me move this out of the way. Okay, now this, guys, is going to be your stuffing. Make sure it's nicely mixed. All those nice, delicious flavors are in there. Okay, now what you want to do is take one of your mushrooms and you're literally going to spoon it like this. Just pack it in there. You got to stuff it in. Okay, you want to stuff it in. Again, make sure your hands are nice and clean. Nice, clean hands before you start. And you're going to line them up. Okay, and you're gonna keep going. And you're just gonna stuff them, pack it in. I do it with a spoon, and then you shake off the excess on top. Make sure it's packed in really tight. Otherwise, all that delicious stuffing is gonna come flying out of your mushrooms. All right, So let's get another one stuffed, and then I'll pause it, and then you guys could take a little break from me for a minute, and I'll finish stuffing them and show you what I do before I put them in the oven. All right, guys, so I have all the mushrooms stuffed. Again, I didn't do a lot. I just did one little tray. But what you're going to do now is, again, make sure your oven is preheated to 350. Okay, you're going to take a tiny drop of oil, just drizzle it on the top of each one. Okay, and to this, you're going to add a tiny bit of the grated cheese. It just gives a nice little flavor on the top. And what I am going to do is, when it's cooking, once it's almost cooked, I'm going to pull them out, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of fresh mozzarella, with a little chunk on each one, and you put it on top. You don't have to do that. You could just cook them like this and leave it this way, or you can add a little bit of mozzarella or anything you want. But I think I'll do that so it'll look good and it'll taste really good. All right, so I'm going to throw them in the oven. It's probably going to be about maybe 20 minutes tops, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next, and then we'll give it a test. All right, guys, so my mushrooms are now cooked. I'm going to show you what they look like when they're cooked. Now, you can eat them just like this. It's perfectly delicious. Or what I want to do is, I did get some fresh mozzarella. So I cut chunks, little pieces, you know, some are big, some are small, so we'll put them on top. I did have some beautiful tomatoes and some fresh basil from the garden, and I had a few pieces of leftover mozzarella, so I figured I'd make a little caprese salad, so we could start with that as an appetizer, right? All right, so now in the meantime, watch. You're going to just take the bigger pieces, right? And you're going to put them on top of all the mushrooms. All right, so what you're going to do now is just cover these, you know, put like a nice little chunk under. You can use regular mozzarella like the Palio or whatever, but I like fresh. Fresh mozzarella just has a really good flavor. You could throw a little more parsley on top. You could put a little basil, a little piece of basil if you want. All right, but this is it. So I'm just going to throw this back in the oven, you guys, and I'm going to let this melt and get nice and melty on top, and then we'll take it out and give it a taste test, and that'll be the mushrooms. Very easy. And the stew is almost done, so when that's ready, we'll do that a taste test, and then we're good. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoy these. Thank you. All right, guys, so the stuffed mushrooms are ready. Again, I didn't put too much mozzarella. I just put a little bit and just had a little bit melted on top. You can put more or less or none, but let's give it a taste test. So I have one here that I already cut up in half so you can see the inside. And let's give it a taste. Here we go, my big mouth. That's good. What I like about it is that it's not crunchy. Have you ever eaten someone's mushrooms where it's like crunchy? That's why I said it's important that you put enough olive oil in your mixture so that you don't bite into like a crunch. I don't like that. I like it to be nice and like, I don't know, like a stuffing feeling, you know? It's really delicious, very tasty. And again, this is the kind of thing you want to go to somebody's house, you don't know what to make, and you want to serve a little appetizer. It's a great thing to serve to people coming over or bring someplace, and it's easy and it's really good. All right, guys, so thanks for watching, and I will see you soon.